Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Let me know if you're popping on. It is absolutely my honor, my pleasure, my joy. I'm so excited to be sharing in this beautiful, sacred community. I have been a friend of Christine's for, it feels like lifetimes, but probably a couple years now, I would say. I had her share. We connected last year in my community, Be Your Own Guru community, and I offered her a spot to share as a presenter. So it's just a wonderful opportunity to do this for her birthday. So I just want to give Christine a shout out. Thank you so much for having me and extending this opportunity to me. And happy, 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 happy birthday to you. I hope you feel loved. I hope you feel blessed, and I hope you feel cherished, and not just this day, but every day throughout the year. And honestly, that's my wish for everyone. I don't believe that we have to live life the hard way. I feel like we can choose to have a lot more joy. And in my experience, when you say yes to that, when you choose to experience more joy, you call it in. You can master that. You can master those codes, and then you share those out with other people. So thank you so much for taking the time to be here. I'm really curious what your knowledge is of the quantum realm and some of the multi-dimensional conversations and experiments, because we're all experimenting on this, aren't we? No one knows for sure. So we're all checking some new technologies and new equipment about. And that's kind of how I would like for you to consider the information that I'm going to be sharing with you today, that it's fun to try new things. And I would really like for you to have fun while you explore. And I'm going to be sharing the information with you in kind of a story form. I love being a storyteller. I used to be a preschool teacher, and story time was one of my favorite things to do with kids, with the children that I had the honor and the privilege to kind of play with all day. So yeah, get in, get relaxed, get comfortable. I love to do a little crisscross applesauce myself in my chair. I'm only 5 feet tall, so I fit in most cubby holes and spaces. And so this is how I roll. I haven't introduced myself. My name is Chai Gold. That's really my name. My husband's last name is Gold. He's English, and obviously I'm American, and we got married 2 years ago. We were a long distance romance. We dated for 7 months online before we got married, and he went through the immigration process to come stay with me in Florida. I hear that it's colder in England, and he gets all the vitamin D that he needs now that he stays here with me. So that's where we're stationed at this point. We did spend 2 years being digital nomads and lived out of backpacks in a very simple life, and traveled all over the US and the UK. But we've been, obviously with the pandemic, we've been kind of locked down and stationed, I'll call it, in the US and then in Florida for, about 2 years now. So we're very excited to be traveling here again soon. So before I dive into the storytelling, I think I would like to touch base. Let me make sure that I'm able to see comments here. If you're on and you're watching, please say hello. Make sure my sound is good and that you're receiving me okay. I would appreciate it. Can't post comments. Okay. We'll see if that's working. I am very spiritual, techie, not so much. So if we have an issue, my husband's great at helping me sort that out. So let me know if you can see everything okay and hear everything okay. I am using StreamYard, so it does require that you click that little link if you want to leave me a comment, and that way I can see your name or who's speaking with me. That would be awesome. Let me see comments. Okay, so touching base on this conversation about 5D marketing and selling. the new Earth way of doing things is very, very different than the 3D way that we have established for eons and eons. And the divine has been coaching and mentoring me since 2012. And a lot of their conversations are about the new earth and the new ways of doing things, and really encouraging us to explore and experiment with some 5D technology. And so I would really like to share that with you. And I'd like for you to just check it out and test it and see what works, see what you like. And to do that, I think it's a little, let's like set a standard, a baseline of our understanding around like the quantum realm altogether. I really like to have some context to this so that we all understand, or you at least understand what I mean when I say quantum. Sometimes words get established in different ways into other people's vocabulary. So the way I'm going to be using or referencing the quantum realm today kind of has to do with that space between creator and us. And in that space, in the quantum, we can create grids, we can use crystal technology. There's all kinds of goodies that you can do. And it's very much a creator space. When I work with people, when I mentor people, when I do energy healing, I tend to work with people on different levels. So there's the physical body, the energetic body, the oversoul or the soul network. I do a lot of past life healing and clearing, and then there's the quantum. So a lot of the conversation I'm going to be having with you today has to do with your energy body and how to tap into the quantum and use that technology and kind of design art, things that you'd like to have, things that you'd like to experience, the people that you'd like to work with, the offers that you create, all happens in the quantum. And it's anchored into this realm by your soul. And your oversoul will give you all your capacities, all your skill sets from all your different lifetimes. So anytime that you mastered different codes or challenges or themes in previous lifetimes, you can literally call back those skill sets, those talents, those strengths. You mastered those codes, and you can literally and quickly tap into your soul star chakra and ask to receive a download of your own mastery codes to you to help you out. So I'll let you have that piece of information. I've been channeling this guidance, like I said, for about 10 years, and I've been exploring a lot of these technologies and these tips and these tools from the divine through my Spirit Messenger training with the 15 people that I've taken through the training in the last year. So everything I'm sharing with you today has been shared with them before, and they've been testing it out, as have I. And I have to say, through our experiments, this stuff really works. So to move forward in this conversation, I'm going to have to tell you a little story from my perspective and my experience and my vantage point as far as us being a fractal of source. I use this phrase a lot, and a lot of times I see people's like face scrunch up, and I get it. Like, it's an odd term, fractal of source, but I believe that you are, that we are, that I am a fractal of source. So what I imagine or see in my mind's eye regarding this fractal of source is there is a creator, there is a source, there is an undulating ball of unconditional love out there. And this source decided that it wanted to have you. And you decided that you wanted to come create and explore and expand and play on Earth. So this is you. Doesn't it look just like you? So you came to Earth to play and get to know your friends and to explore and to learn and to grow and connect. Yet when you got here, the 3D Earth was covered, it was enmeshed and deeply rooted with a programming that's been here for a long time. And this programming has gotten us pretty far up till now. But it did do some damage to this beautiful fractal, this fractal of source that you are. And inside this programming is fears and self-doubt and the need to be controlled or the desire to control others. And so it kind of just causes this version of you to kind of fold in. You're afraid to shine. You're afraid to speak your truth or stand your ground. And so it kind of causes this fractal of source, this you, to be kind of small and dim your light and not stand out in the crowd and not to share the uniqueness in who you are. And so a lot of what I teach helps to remove all that so that you're able to expand and explore and play and have fun again. So let me know if that makes sense. And the way we have a couple ways of doing this. My policy is always do no harm. And so everything that I share and deliver in my content, in my conversations, it's always a choice. So you would have to give a yes that you would like to explore this further, that you would like to expand this conversation, and that you might want to establish or utilize some of these tools and techniques. It's just offered and it's an option on the table. So the way I see it when I meet people, they have kind of turned inward and they have often pulled themselves out of society. And there's a lot of this like win and compete vibe on earth. So one of the things that I'm doing lately is helping people to remove a lot of that programming, remove the need to be controlled or control others, remove the need to be number one or compete, because the new earth frequencies, the new earth vibrations are all about compassion and love and unity. Our strength is in working together, collaborations, and having like a deep reverence and respect for each other and honoring each other's contribution to this planet. I kind of see it as like, one earth, one mission, one team, and that we're all doing our part, contributing to the greater good of our planet. And so we each on a personal level need to do what we can to contribute to the harmony and to the balance so that we can show up and share what we bring to this earth. So as I work with these spirit messengers, and today I'm now offering this information to all of you. I've never shared this publicly. I've never been asked to by the divine to share this publicly. They want me to have a conversation with you about your unique soul signature. And I started having my own conversations with God in 2012. And this is where the divine and I started having this experience about soul signature, unique soul signature. It means that each soul vibrates at its own frequency. It emits its own frequency. And this frequency is comprised of multiple different facets or parts of you that's uniquely integrated. And as the divine was introducing me to this concept of really helping me discover who I really am at my core, at my essence as an energetic being, I was actually guided in 2013 to watch the movie Rise of the Guardians. So you have to let me know if you've ever heard of that. It's got Jack Frost in it and I think the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, the Sandman. And it's a really cute animated film. And the conversations that came to me, the guidance that I received was about how each one of us are so unique, excuse me, at our core. And in that movie, you were asked to, I was asked to, after watching it, to figure out or understand. Jack Frost is in it, and he has to learn what his center is. What is your center? Who are you at the core of your being? And the animated movie was just a really fun way for that to be demonstrated and articulated. But it's a great way to tie into this soul signature conversation and make it just a little bit more simple. So we love things that are simple, right? So in this film, there is a conversation where you better understand like who you are at the core of you, an energetic being. And like I said, there are multiple parts of this frequency, and that film can kind of help you get dialed in on at least one of them. And when I mentor the spirit messengers and other people around this concept, we always start with one, and then we aim to dial in and better understand the rest. But for the purpose of this exercise, I'm going to ask you to consider what one of those might be. So for example, I have been doing a thorough inventory of my own. And I started out for like the last, when was 2013? 7-8 years ago, right? I started out with love, and then it became love and hope. Then it became love, hope, faith, and forgiveness. And then it became love, hope, faith, forgiveness, magic, joy, and abundance. So these are kind of the integrated frequencies that I emit. These are the codes that I have kind of mastered, and I'm able to share these with others as well. It's kind of the medicine that these are some of the things that I was born to share the planet when I came here, but some of them are kind of the wisdom that I need in some of my most challenging moments. And so I kind of want you to remember that as you're dialing in on understanding your soul's signature frequency, it may also help you to know that it may be the same medicine that you also need to receive sometimes. It will get you out of difficult challenges, or get you through them, help you alchemize what may be going on in the chaos. So like I said, I started out years ago knowing that love was my center. Then I met my husband, and while we were dating, we would have conversations. He had a program that helped you understand what your values are. And through his program, that's where I discovered the hope, love, and faith. The forgiveness for me, I came to understand, was like one of my greatest lessons in this lifetime. When I practiced forgiving myself, forgiving others, or being forgiven, it tends to open a lot of new doors and really amazing things start happening. And that's how you can tell, is when you start tapping into your soul's signature frequency, being it, utilizing it as your medicine, you'll notice some really big God miracles happening. Things start showing up. So you can tell that something's just been turned on, accelerated, or activated. And so it was past doing my husband's values program that then I started kind of asking my divine support team, is there anything else? And they said, yes, magic and joy are 2 more of your frequencies. And then abundance has kind of come in this last year and a half. So, and I'll tell you, the abundance one is one that I've been mastering this entire lifetime. And that by that, it means I came into this lifetime with such a deficit understanding around abundance, like real poverty, and really had to do a lot of soul growth and nurture these codes that I'm now able to share with other people around abundance. So I just kind of want to give you some context. There's different flavors, different strengths for everybody. So some of these you may be really good at, like if you were naturally born with that frequency. And other ones, it may have been a little bit harder of a row. So again, I don't want you to assume that you need to know all of these. Maybe you have done some values work, and maybe you do already have some clarity and understanding about who you are, what's important to you at your core. So I kind of want to give you, some structure around that. And I had my husband make some slides here for me today for me to be able to have this conversation with you. But selling and marketing in the 5D paradigm, in the new wavelengths and structures that we have available in the quantum, requires you to know at least one of these soul signatures about yourself, and then it starts showing up in your branding, in your conversations, and then you become a match for either the clientele who that frequency is important to, or the clientele who most needs the medicine, your codes that you are bringing, whether you were naturally born with a strength in that area, or it's something that you've been mastering over a lifetime. I just kind of want to check in with my notes here. Yes, I'm ready for you to see this picture. Let me see if I can do this. I'm still not seeing any comments in the chat box. So if you're on and you can hear me, that would be great if you would let me know. Let me see. So I have a energy modality called an energy tune-up. I started doing energy tune-ups. It is a modality the divine taught me how to do. Every modality that I practice, the divine has taught me. I 100% trained and taught by the divine. So I have an energy modality called an energy tune-up, and I've been practicing that modality for about 7.5, 8 years. It's a long distance healing session, and I usually do them remotely from home. And when I tap into somebody's energy body, into their energy field, I normally activate and accelerate their own vibration, their own frequency. And it allows, it supercharges them. It brings them into more source or source code alignment. It puts very high voltage energy into their field, and their own self-healing activates and kicks on. So when I do an energy tune-up for years and years, I would see it like this, where I kind of, either somebody was laying in my vision, people would be either laying down on a massage table in front of me, and I would lift them up into the source light, or it would look like this, where they're standing and I'm kind of sending in this energy. Recently, though, probably the last couple of years, I started seeing all these colors. When I would do an activation, I would see their soul just almost like bloom. It was just an explosion of color, and their energy field would expand. And so what I learned is that these colors, obviously they vibrate at different frequencies, and they match those frequencies I was just talking about, like joy, love, magic, forgiveness. These colors coincide. And I teamed up with a really great friend of mine in the last year and a half, named Rob Comer. He's an artist, and he actually does soul signature color profiles for people. So based on your name and your numerology or something, he has some scientific way of doing a profile and can tell you what colors your soul signature is. And it often coincided, it validated what I saw in the energy tune-ups. I started sending my clients to him to have their profiles done so that they could see the colors. Now, as you can imagine, each color has intel, has information about it. Each color represents something different. So if you want to explore this soul color conversation or soul signature even further, you might want to connect with Rob and get some intel from him. But most often, the colors would validate what I saw. And then also I usually get guidance about a person. When I do a lot of these energy healing modalities or transformation packages with people, I often get guidance about what some of their soul signatures are. So for example, if somebody's was joy or courage, most likely they would have yellow in their energy field. Blue can also be like faith, a faith color, or courage. Red, could be somebody who's very like positive. Green would possibly be somebody who is wanting to bring more love, vibrate at the frequency of love. So this is what your energy body looks like to me when I work with people. And what I have learned is by you understanding kind of what those signature frequencies are, they're your soul's message, your soul's medicine to the planet, you can start understanding your skills, your strengths, your talents in this lifetime, and who you're a best match to work with. There's so much information that you can get from understanding this technology. I'm thinking I should make this bigger. Well, I'm going to leave it because I'm nervous to change anything. Okay. My husband said I could make this image bigger, but that option doesn't seem to be there anymore unless I have it swallow my head up. So this is always just a really cool experience that I end up having with people that I mentor, because this soul signature, those ribbons of color, that essence, the core of who you are, taps you into the quantum. I have seen people and mentored people. Oh, hi, Jane. Thanks for popping on. I've mentored people who actually receive their signature programs. They're given technology from the divine. Once you start tapping into the essence here of who you are, your energy field just expands and your growth goes through a rapid acceleration. So the more you get curious and inquire about those soul signature frequencies of who you are, the more this can just get bigger and bigger, and it gets electric, and you can start calling things in from the universe just like super fast highway. So one of the reasons why you want to be able to name it and claim it and put a word on it is because based on guidance that I've received. And again, I've tested it. I've tried not to have to do it because it's not always easy. We did not choose the easiest route here on earth. I hate to be the one to break the news to you, but I channeled this guidance back in 2017 from Mother Mary. And I didn't really understand it at the time. Mother Mary, I trance channel sometimes, where I close my eyes and a divine entity comes through and speaks through me. And I was in a particular gathering that I call a spirit circle, and Mother Mary came in and she wanted to explain to us about how things were going to be in the new era. I do look different today with the purple hair. I hope you're enjoying this. She explained how things were going to be in the new earth era. And she was talking about how many of us who were here to help the planet through our shift and provide spiritual nourishment or food to others, that we were it was no longer going to benefit people for us to be the information carriers, the information bringer. She said the information age had ended, and she showed us, each one of us in the circle, she gave us a color of who we are or what our medicine is to this planet. And she asked us to put that inside of ourselves and become it. And you know, Mother Mary's wise and I trust her guidance, but I didn't really know what this meant. And she said, those who are unable to become the change that they wish to bring to the world, to offer to the world, they won't be able to stay in alignment to mentor people. So it literally became necessary to like walk your talk, to practice what you preach, to take your own medicine, to even be an established provider of support to other people. This was part of the next wave that came in. And sure enough, I saw a bunch of my, peers kind of dropping out of the sky when it comes to mentoring people. So I saw this being a real challenge where people who had been part of the information age, the carriers of information, the spiritual gurus and guides who would tell you, do this, do this, do this. But if they weren't behaving authentically, if they weren't practicing what the messages teach, then they actually weren't being provided an audience to teach to. They would not be receiving wealth if they truly weren't studying what was the guidance that was being offered to them and applying it. And so being who we say we are became even more important. And with the training and material I'm going to provide you today, you're going to see why activating this soul signature and knowing who you are, it literally activates this very cool intel to bring in your highest and best soulmate clients, or it shuts it off. So step one is understanding who you are on an energetic level, even if it's just one core essence, one aspect of you. So that's step one. When you know that, the next step is be it, embody it, and challenges will show up. Challenges will show up. You can consider it an information gathering spell. I don't like to say that the universe or the divine or God tests us, because I don't feel like we're in a pass or fail experience. Isn't this lovely? I like to consider us as mastering ourselves. And every time you shift energetically in your frequency or aim to shift, you're going to have contrast. That's what needs to be looked at, because it's what's kicking you back to a lower vibration other than the one that you want to be in. And that's where the alchemization comes into play. So I'd love it if you would discover who you are on an energetic level, even if it's just one piece of that, and then make the commitment to be that. No matter what happens, the discomfort, get comfortable being uncomfortable, because that's where we are now. The discomfort, the challenges that may arrive, try not to get frustrated with it and just try to ride the wave and use that core essential ingredient that we talked about. So if it's love, show up and be love, embody love, give grace, offer forgiveness, whatever love translates to you, compassion, devotion. You might be asked to look at your frequencies of love. Are you sacrificing for love? Because that's not in alignment with the new paradigm. So you might be asked to reconsider some of your thoughts about love and how you're applying it. And maybe it's not. Maybe it's not the highest evolution of love that it could be. And maybe you'll be asked to take a look at that. So a lot of this is a bit of a self-guided navigation process. You could definitely call in your divine support team, say, hey, I'm looking to master this essential ingredient. Like Ty asked us, I'm going to try it. I'm going to see what happens, because I want to market and sell in a way that feels authentic to me and that isn't hard, that isn't pulling clients in, where I'm not having to buy Facebook ads and do campaigns and do things that feel more hustle and grind. And I'm telling you, the divine will support you immensely, but you've got to put a couple techniques together and knowing who you are, and then being that, embodying that. And as you flux and feel through the contrast, start sharing it, talking about it with people, start sharing it. And a lot of people that I work with, that's where a lot of their inspired content comes from, when they're talking about these codes, because the codes that you have are going to be you're going to have them in common with your soulmate clients. And I'll tell you why I call them your soulmate clients, Because again, I receive everything through my divine connection. And what I've been shown is that the people that our soul has made like an agreement or a contract to work with, we can connect with them through our soul star chakra. And we can send a dispatch out to the ethers, to the quantum, when we have an offer and we're ready to work with them. We can kind of send it up into the soul star chakra. I imagine it like a lighthouse beacon, and I say, okay, divine, I'm ready to receive. How many do you feel like I should be ready to work with for this offer? And the divine works for you. All you have to do is be the codes, be the love, be the forgiveness, be the compassion. And it electrifies and activates these pulses, these signals that go out into the quantum. And I'm telling you, you wake up, you follow the inspired action that you're guided to do, and then you just wake up with people wanting to work with you. And I have been utilizing this technique for, oh gosh, I would say 2 years now, and it's never failed me. I have a waiting list of clients who want to work with me. I have consistent income every month, and I'm going to give you some more details about how to establish that, because there's more steps to kind of get there. But I just want you to know I live a very blessed, very comfortable lifestyle, and I don't have to do this the hard way. And I started out doing it the hard way, and I have converted. I have converted my techniques beyond hustle and way more into grace and ease. I spend a lot of evenings floating in my pool, and I like it like that. So I don't know how you like it. You could tell me how you like it. Does your selling or marketing experience right now, does it feel hard, arduous? Does it feel authentic to you? Feel free to share in the comments. I'd love to know. You being that signature frequency to your core, it calls in the best matching clients to you, and selling will become easy because you're having a conversation, basically offering love to one of your soul friends or family members, and they'll want to have that experience with you. So I'm going to shift the conversation, checking in with my notes. There's another piece of technology that I utilize while doing this. So I'm going to switch this. Let me know if you have any questions. Sometimes I can go a little fast. So you're going to be the frequency and embody that. Share it out. Talk about it. Then this is the next step that I share with my beautiful friends. This is technology that's been brought to us by the Arcturians and the Atlanteans and the divine, the ascended masters, the archangel realm that I work with. They were like, use this. In the quantum, we get to use grid work and we get to use crystal technology. So as you are going through this refinement process of understanding your soul's core signature frequencies, as I said, the divine will start giving you intel. You'll start being handed off new processes, new ways of doing things, signature programs. And one of the next tools that often gets delivered, or I ask my spirit messengers to try out, check it out, is this crystal technology. One of them represents your soul's mission, business identity, and branding. It's usually kind of all lumped up in one crystal. And it's usually the first crystal that I ask people to explore connecting with. So this technology becomes available to you once you've done this soul signature frequency exploration and embodiment. It becomes a lot easier after I help someone through a defragmentation. I'm going to explain that to you. because it's difficult to access this technology when you have the 3D programming and software running. So just want to mention that. So this crystal technology, when I work with the spirit messengers, I usually hook them up or show them how to tap into one crystal that holds their mission, brand, and like biz identity. The second one is their kind of soul tribe and soul family. And listen, your soul tribe are not just the clients that pay you. Your soul tribe is everywhere your light touches. Every post that you put out, every, all your free content, every time you're exploring and you're playing with others, you are casting a ripple or connecting with your soul tribe. And your soul tribe crystal can tell you what content to create. You can ask your soul tribe crystal, and sometimes the divine wants me to call it your soul family crystal, but I want you to understand what that means. And I'm happy if you would rather call it your soul family crystal. Makes no difference to me. Kind of embodies the same thing. It will tell you like what codes your soul family needs to hear from you, needs to receive from you. Like it'll tell you where you can find your soul family members or what they would like to have. And I go to my crystals and ask if, like this event, Christine asked me to share, and I love her. I want to honor her birthday. I'm excited to celebrate with her, but is it truly in alignment for my soul tribe to see me, to sense me, to feel me, to hear me, to receive this intel, for me to pass off these codes, for me to do this event? Is it in my highest timeline of abundance? Is it in the highest good for the greater good, and for my soul tribe? So I'll get yeses and nos about invitations. I don't say yes to every podcast, and it kind of cuts the fuss out of do I have time for this? Because one of the energetics that don't match 5D paradigm is overwhelm. 5D paradigm is much more about cut-throughs, shortcuts, and working smarter, not harder. And the quantum can make things happen real fast. So you can just wish for an opportunity one night and you'll wake up and it's in your inbox. I'm sure some of you have already had that experience, but once you tap into this kind of crystal technology and have this conversation going in this experience, it really gives you like a home base to find out like who you are best aligned to work with, or who your mission is for. Once you understand your mission that you can get from that biz identity, mission, brand crystal, then you know your why. Then you know why you're here serving. You and people in the 5D, they invest in whys. They invest in causes. And that crystal can give you the intel that you can pass off in a way that your soul tribe knows if they're a match for you, if they care about the same things that you do, and they'll invest in those causes. and they'll feel safe with you. They'll feel comfortable with you. They know why you're doing what you're doing. So I definitely recommend this kind of intel and this technology. When I bring it to the spirit messengers that I work with, we do have to do an activation to kind of line this up, and we bring it into the heart. And you might ask what that third crystal is for. Every single offer that you create has its own crystal. So it could be when I did an activation for the spirit messengers, everybody received a basket of crystals that represented their offers. So each offer that you create will have different intel, different places that they want you to go to, different people that they want you to speak to, and different things they want you to talk about. But knowing who you are, your soul signature, and then knowing having this compass of your brand crystal, your mission, and your soul tribe and your offers, this eliminates a lot of the chaos around who am I going to see? Where am I going to speak to? Is that alignment? Is it a match? It becomes real quick, very quick. When I work with the spirit messengers, we lock this intel into their heart space, and it becomes just second knowing whether or not it serves their highest timeline of abundance and their mission to secure a certain opportunity or hire or partner with an individual. There's so much information that you can get from this crystal technology, and this is all very advanced, 5D multidimensional technology. So if you're somebody who hasn't practiced a lot of divine communication, that might be something that you want to explore. That's kind of in my repertoire. If you would like help with that, definitely feel free to reach out to me. I have an entire training program and courses, online courses, to help people establish that. I learned that very early on, that many people, we all have different strengths, different talents, different abilities, but it's my belief that everyone can learn divine communication. And I happen to be really good at helping people discover how their divine communication works best. So please let me know if you're enjoying this conversation so far, and if you have any questions about this crystal technology. Like I said, this technology would be very difficult to harness without having had defragmentation, where you're removed from the software plugins, coding from the 3D structures and paradigm. Okay, this is an integration exercise. Okay, once you start tapping into these core frequencies of knowing who you are, you don't have to push, shove, or try to control things. The divine will just be bringing you opportunities. It really becomes this beautiful state of grace and allowing opportunities to show up. And same thing with these crystals. Once you start receiving the intel, you don't have to post every day. You don't have to do a lot of marketing and stress and worry yourself out. You just tune in. Does it serve my soul tribe's highest good, my soul family's highest good, to hear from me today? And what topics would you like me to explore? What could I, provide service or support them with today? And just, is it in my highest alignment to discuss that? And I want to say this. In the online industry and with those energetics from the 3D paradigm, I believe that there's kind of a lot of finger pointing and pushing and shoving, and it's not always a nice playground. And I think that by fastening into this technology, and you're coming from a very soul-inspired place, you're going to be speaking directly to your audience, the words that they need to hear most at that time. And you're not going to be bouncing and reacting and triggered to other things that are being said or discussed online. Because in the new earth paradigm, we're not trying to be the best. We're not necessarily trying to outshine anybody. We aren't practicing righteousness. So this is a whole opportunity to really shift out of a lot of that 3D programming and really accentuate who you are uniquely as an energetic body, being, and person. I see you, Joy. Thanks for letting me know. I hope this is providing some possibilities, some valuable information, maybe some solutions for you. Thanks for letting me know you're here. I'm glad that you guys can hear me. So if you're not interested in playing some of those games, where you read some stuff in your news feed, you get really upset or excited about it, and then you go post and share, you can kind of stop. Once you have this crystal technology, you can kind of stop and say, does it serve my highest timeline of abundance or my soul tribe for me to share this right now? And, rather than you venting or regurgitating what somebody else has said online, you can tap back into your heart, what needs sharing, be of divine service, and not stress or overwhelm yourself. Okay, just checking in with my notes. Yeah, you end up, when you tap into the offers crystal, you end up creating the perfect solution for the problems that your soul tribe's having. So I don't know if you've ever felt like you put something together and you're not sure if it's going to work or people are going to like it or if it's going to sell. When you do the work that I'm talking about, tapping into your soul signature frequency, understanding yourself, tap into these technologies of these crystals, you'll be guided to create offers. You'll be guided to share, and selling becomes like this rapid invitation. I've got this ready, and oh my gosh, I upgraded a version of my numerology profiles for businesses, and the divine gave me some information. They wanted me to put some activations with it. They wanted me to revamp it, do it on video instead of audio, and tell people how they can convert their business to better match the energetics of the 5D paradigm. So I switched this around, and I literally, I asked my team, is it ready? Yes. For how many souls? 4. So I put these advanced numerology profiles, now called the Divine Blueprint profiles. I uploaded it to my Soul Star chakra, and I said, please let my soul tribe know that this is ready. And I received people messaging me, and I had advanced sales before I ever did an announcement about it. So this is what I'm saying. And I have a waiting list for them. So I didn't really have to publish much about it, if anything, and it sells itself. And you'll be delivering the content that your people need to hear. And it's this just beautiful exchange of love and grace. So you don't have to wonder if it's the right thing. So if you don't have that experience yet, if you're not sure, am I operating in the 3D, 5D with my business? I'm going to break it down and make it simple. In 3D business, we tend to put a lot of structure in it, and it's very much developed by the mind brain. And oftentimes we have followed somebody else's template that says to be successful, you must do A, B, and C. And don't get me wrong, I know I'm standing here telling you to do it my way right now, but I'm also telling you to tap into your soul, tap into your guidance, tap into this crystalline technology and see what happens. Explore that. I'm giving you better tools to operate in this new earth paradigm. But I've seen a lot of people out there with like Facebook ads and having to create this freebie offer, have people sign up for the 30-day program just so you can get to the end and possibly lift them into a higher caliber offer or exchange to work with you. And this is very 3D business model. This is not 5D business or selling. So really ask yourself, did your mind brain create this system and structure? Did your mind brain create this offer? Or was it something that came from your soul? Did it come from your heart? Did you wake up with inspiration or a calling and follow inspired action to getting there? Now, in my experience, most people have a compilation of the two because we haven't had a lot of examples or people sharing or telling how to create 5D structures in business, the energy structures that I'm talking about in the quantum, because I create grids for all my clients and put in there the frequencies that I would like for them to expand and experience and play and explore with. And forgiveness is always in there. If you're one of my clients, I'm certain that during our time together, you would have had a lesson in forgiveness by now. I'm certain that's just the way it goes. Abundance too. Abundance and forgiveness tend to be two things besides the magic, besides the joy, besides the love. These medicines my beautiful clients get to experience, and I'm here to support them through that. I've got the master codes. Doesn't mean I'm the best. It just means I've been through it and I can tell you some things about it. I can help you out. So I hope if you have any questions around this crystal technology, feel free to let me know. But I'm telling you, it makes selling and marketing and finding out who your clients are, where to find them, it makes it easy. And you may wake up to intel first thing in the morning from these crystals or your divine support team saying, we want you to go offer a workshop in this town, and it might not make a lot of sense. You're really going to have to practice a lot of trust and faith, because it's not the factory system, the 3D laid out perfectly system that you're used to. It's a lot more experimenting. It's a lot more trying things you haven't. Welcome to being uncomfortable. If you haven't gotten uncomfortable yet, this is the car you're riding in now, where you've got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Our businesses were given to us to help us grow. If you're not growing, you're probably not in the best, most soul-aligned business for you, because these businesses are given to us to help us expand as much as they are to serve other people. So I've mentioned a few times the defragmentation. Oh, you're more than welcome to share with me how far out of your comfort zone you have been asked to go while exploring your business. Our techie bits. I'm trying to get to the next slide for you. Okay, so I've mentioned the defragmentation. The defragmentation is a treatment system that the Divine and I have collaborated together with, and it's already built in shelves out in the quantum. And when I bring people in, when I work with them, we are removing all these software programs and drivers and plugins that are part of the 3D energetics. When we do that, we get your soul singing again. He expands in all their glory. We get all that gunk off. And part of this, it's a healing modality. It's a treatment system. So you receive a treatment session from me where we energetically remove this, but then you have to go through 6 months of recovery to learn how to do things the new way. So it's a whole new evolution. And my friends have been playing with this. So I kind of just want to put some of these, and there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. And some of them you might have been receiving therapy for, which is okay. I mean, we do the best we can with what we know how to do, right? So, oh, I lost it. Okay. There's a lot of different drivers. These are the things that kind of nudge you, motivate you. They're part of your programming, and they give you a push. And there's in your default settings, so you may not even realize how much of a part they play. But a lot of us have these in common. The Divine does have me add some extras when I'm working with some people. But these are the energetics that would basically keep you in agreement with the 3D way of doing things. So it would be very difficult to upgrade your selling and your marketing with this stuff still running your system. You would feel like you were doing something that you were very unsure about, and you might feel like you weren't a match. You might have a resistance to it because the 3D paradigm doesn't allow us to experience freedom. There's even a joy limiter, you know, we get nervous about too much bliss. And what I've learned about the new earth is we have so much more available to us regarding love and fun, play, magic, all that stuff that I'm into. So what I'm showing you here are the drivers. Based on my experience with the treatment sessions I've done so far, the divine has shown me that some of these need tweaked. They need calibrated. They need harmonized. We tend to be in the extreme of one or another. And the extreme overdoing, I don't know if you find yourself focusing on 5 to 8 projects at one time, but this is not the level of busyness that the divine wants to see us in, nor is it good for our physical systems. It is super not necessary in the 5D paradigm. This one is a very common one for me when I upgraded my system to relieve myself of these frequencies and these programs. And it's one that my clients deal with a lot. The thing you have to figure out, and why the recovery, 6 months of recovery, is so important, is because we have to learn a new way of doing things. So one of the things that I've noticed with us extreme overdoers is once we have all the extra time, we have to be careful not to fill it with new things. So it's really good to do the recovery methods. And one thing you should know about me that is totally in line with the new Earth paradigm is for every activation that you receive, there has to be an integration and implementation experience inside the package. It is no longer ethical for us to be doling out and zapping and fine-tuning things for people energetically without giving the mind brain access to new intel. The whole of you has to evolve. And just, shifting your energy, it doesn't allow for permanent, long-lasting change. Have you ever gone to a retreat and you learned a lot, felt great, went home, and it didn't really stick? And this is why you didn't get the necessary integration period, and you didn't get the implementation in your experience or package. So I just want you to know, any work that you do with me, I always have those points. Lots of activations. I love working in the quantum, doing energy medicine, but we always need to have a balance of the integration and implementation. Another major player that I see is the drama cycle. I don't know how many of you are familiar with that, but many of us in all kind of lifetimes. Remember, you have access to your soul's coding from all different lifetimes. So when you do this work, when you let this go, reprogram yourself to be more in line with the new Earth paradigm, you're actually healing it for all versions of you that have ever been or ever will be. This goes into the quantum, and all parts of you receives access to it. So in the same line of thinking, the drama cycle is something that we carry with us from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. So when we do this work, we're literally breaking down patterns from all the versions of you that you've ever been. So the rescuer, the victim, and the aggressor is something that I see being carried out a lot online, and it shows up in our partnerships with our clients if we don't address it. And it's just one of those things I'm really passionate about, especially with empaths, really empowering people on how to recover from that. And we have a really beautiful way of addressing it inside the defragmentation system. These are the standard codes that every human body needs removed, essentially. These frequencies end up getting adjusted again in your energy field. I literally see them get locked in from the quantum. A lot of times they look like hieroglyphics, gold hieroglyphics in the energy field when I provide the treatment system. This will make you no longer compatible to the 3D Earth. As you're shifting, changing, growing, and evolving, you don't want to be basically imprinted and implanted with all these frequencies where you're people pleasing. I mean, raise your hand if you feel like you might have a level of this where you're afraid to shine or outshine, where you feel like you need to make other people proud, where you care, you're really invested in, the social identities, the righteousness, control, judgment, sacrifice, undercharging for your services, and a major, the hard worker. The hard worker codes are probably one of the most common ones that I've seen in the Spirit Messenger training, that we have to work hard to earn the lifestyle that we have, the money that we earn. And in the New Earth paradigm, we actually receive you receive the exchange of funds for different things here. You receive financial abundance comes to you by being who you are, going back to those soul signature frequencies. But I'm going to give you another 5D hack. So I really want you to lean in on this. You can ask the divine to give you more than enough resources so that you can focus on your mission and play and create with your soul friends. I have plenty of money to carry out my mission and play and create with my friends. That taps you into higher realm money. I wish I had learned this one years ago. I wish I had implemented this one years ago, because the 3D Earth is so trapped with scarcity and lack. And I feel like I just went into a whole other, I did. When you use this ask, you're tapping into higher realm money. There's abundance, and there are resources that become available to you that will blow your mind. And I'll give you an example. When you are locked in, promised, devoted to be of divine service, serving the highest good of the individual, keeping the give and receive cycle in flow, in balance. I'm not talking about martyrdom or sacrificing yourself, but if your promise and your ask to the universe, to the divine, is that I want to devote myself to divine service, serving the highest good of the individual, and you have a client that comes to you and says, I need to back out of this program. It's no longer feasible for me, for one reason or another, time, money, whatever, it's no longer feasible for me to participate. In the 3D world, you might panic, you might stress about the money, the refund, how much is still owed, all of this stuff. When you say, Creator, Divine, Universe, please give me more than enough resources to fund my mission so that I can create and play with my friends, you will find that money shows up in the exact allotment of whatever may be carried away by somebody needing a refund, canceling a contract. You're just floating in this beautiful state of grace. And lots more money than you're used to comes in. So you really have to open yourself to receive more. And some of that receiving is inside this defragmentation. We do a whole heart where expansion so that you receive and are able to receive more, because the new earth is abundant AF. Let me see what else we're in. I love sharing this information with you. I really hope you find it beneficial and you start utilizing some of these tips. I think it's so exciting, and I love talking about this stuff. And again, if you're watching this on the replay, feel free to ask questions. I'd love to pop in and answer them. All right. So one of the great things you should know is if you feel like you have been called into divine service on our planet, you may have kicked into the leadership version of some of these codes. If you feel like you've been called or asked to be of divine service, inside the 3D programming is another version of codes. So let me know if you feel like you may have some of these frequencies active or in your programming, in your software. The harsh inner critic, not feeling like you're enough, being the best, being so mission obsessed that you don't take care of your basic needs, being results obsessed, so results obsessed that you don't experience joy in the journey, impatience. I see that one a lot. Perfection, the need to be number one. Anytime you find yourself pedestaling, either putting yourself on the top so that other people see you, or putting other people on the top up on a pedestal, looking up to them, worshiping them, thinking they're better than you are out of alignment with the energetics of the new earth paradigm. That is not a match. In the new earth, we see each other as peers and we co-create and play together. It's a beautiful exchange where we share our codes with each other, our intel, our offers, and we see each other as equals. We love and honor and appreciate what we have to share, what they have to share, and we find ways to connect and work together. New Earth is all about collaborations, just like this event this Christine's allowing us to share. This get your shift together. I love that she asked me to be a part of this. This kind of community experience is what's needed in the new earth paradigm. It's all about connection. The new earth is all about connection. New earth is all about connection. It's one of the love frequencies, the unity frequencies. And so us working together and finding that balance is really, really important. And that's what a lot of these leadership codes will help you do. And you'll stop associating with that whole pedestal or hierarchy structure and not feeling enough. Magical thinking is another major player. I got to tell you, when this one came in, I was like, man, I love being magical. How can magical thinking be how can it be a bad thing, right? Well, let me tell you. I had this so active in my field. There was a part of me that didn't even want to let it go. But if you're the type of person that needs miracles for life support to make it from point A to point B, or you put a wish out there in the universe and you're asking the divine to fix it for you or show up and grant you something. Sometimes that is a level of magical thinking. It's putting the power, more power and control in something else and just kind of wishing and hoping it happens. And for a lot of us magical thinkers, we actually need to have some smaller steps and a little bit better structure in place, or a safety net, or, a plan to implement. There's some people who are too heavy on the planning. There's this beautiful blend of allowing that state of grace to receiving the divine support and not controlling, and also not putting all your eggs in a basket that someone else is supposed to, or the divine is supposed to sort out, support, or fix for you. So when you remove this frequency, this leadership code from your field of this magical thinking, you really start to understand the balance between kind of doing your part, co-creating with the divine, understanding what the steps are, what is the next step toward this goal? What is the next step toward this goal? And you really start arranging more feasible goals instead of just kicking something out there and hoping that somebody catches that ball and brings it to you. It becomes very different. Let me know if that makes sense to you. Yeah. So I want to help you kind of pull all this together. The work that I've done with people around these codes has been super beneficial and very eye-opening. And it's allowed them to tap into a lot of these technologies in the quantum. It's important in the new earth, like I was saying, to create and play with others and partnership and collaboration. These are going to be the tools. These are going to be the new ways of doing things. And this is how you collaborating with others and sharing, even like I am now. This is what's going to allow people to value you, know you, trust you, like you, and invest in you. And these are quantum level marketing tools. And when you're focused on being of divine service and you're asking the creator, the divine, the universe to support and fund your mission so that you can create and play with your friends, you're going to tap into this beautiful higher realm money. And if you're someone that's used to sabotaging yourself, it'll really help you kind of sidestep some of that, knowing that you're focused on the mission, taking one step at a time, and trusting that what you're guided to do, what you're led to create, what you're led to share, what you're led to offer is going to rapidly evolve your business, and you will be in states of grace and opportunity and love and appreciation and won't be exhausted and experiencing overwhelm. Because the new earth paradigm wants you rested, wants you happy, wants you to have more time connecting with other people and cherishing yourself. This is what the new earth is all about. So if you want to experience that some more states of that grace, more abundance, or if you would like to, work with me to help you establish this kind of technology in the quantum so that you have access to these beautiful tools that the galactic beings that I work with and our divine support teams have available and offer us, please reach out to me. I would be absolutely honored. I'm just checking it with my slides. I don't know if I can get to, no. Just a second. Techie. Which brain is working right now? Here we go. So just like I said, I'd love to give you some integration work. Ooh, isn't that interesting? Not what I wanted to happen there. Oh dear. Did it stop sharing? Oh, I'm having a good time over here. Okay. I want to give you some integration techniques. We did not do any activations in this call, but I did create an energy grid before I started, and I shared, and I infused the energy inside this grid with those frequencies that I was talking to you about, with love, hope, faith, forgiveness, magic, joy, and abundance. So as you're receiving this today, you might have beautiful experiences around those codes. I put in a beautiful filtration device so that as you evolve, you can kind of work through your stuff here. And again, these are all tools and quantum developed concepts and structures that we have available. Yeah. So I want to put this offer up here if you want to work with me, and those integration exercises that I would like for you to try. I would like to ask you to spend 3 or 4 days, 3 to 4, depending on your commitment level and your decision to experiment. I'd like for you to choose one of those core essences of your soul's signature frequency. And I'd like to ask you to embody that. No matter what happens, no matter whether you win the lottery or get into a car accident, focus on being your ideal presence of love or faith or hope, whatever that may be for you, being it in every case and scenario and exchange that you can. You'll go through a sense of refinement about it in those 3 or 4 days. But I'm telling you, you're going to open up some new doors. Some exchanges are going to be happening that are going to be miraculous, wild, and amazing. And I'd also like to ask you to combine that with this desire, this ask that creator, source, the divine, the universe, provide you plenty of resources to fund your mission so that you can create and play with your friends. I'd like for you to put those two pieces together for the next 3 or 4 days and see what happens. I have it on good authority that something magical will appear, some beautiful exchanges will happen, and I'd be excited to hear your feedback about that. I love to witness this stuff. I love to hear about it. I think it's amazing. So if your application tool is forgiveness, I would recommend using the Ho'oponopono. You may want to use the violet flame of transmutation. Just really embody it and really enmesh yourself in the experience of it. And that's how you have access to these advanced technologies and tools. The divine has shown me that my signature frequencies, I can literally create portals through my content that help my ideal soulmate clients arrive to me easily. They come onto my content, they feel me, my love, joy, hope, faith, forgiveness codes. They feel gooey by them and they take action. And that's kind of the grid work that I create with doing this work. But step 1 is identifying that frequency. Step 2 is being that. And when you every time you are that, when you activate that essence, embodying it, you will magnetize wonderful opportunities to you. Now, if you don't, say you build out the grid work and the quantum, you understand who you are on an energetic level. You say, my core frequencies are, and then you decide maybe to be a bit of a jerk and you're not really showing up as who you know you truly are. And, maybe carrying on with some nonsense online or with your friends or with your family. Those portals, that sticky tape, that stuff that would cause clients to come in and greet you and want to work with you, it collapses and it becomes almost a repellent. And so I cannot stress the importance of you embodying those energetics of who you truly are and doing the contrast work. You have to do the contrast work. I look at it like information. It's just data. It's just information and material that I can work with to achieve a higher state of frequency or consciousness, and so that I can work with more clients who are better suited for me. I have no misaligned clients. Because of doing this embodiment work and showing up, following through on the intel from the crystal, and really plugging myself into the recovery methods from this defragmentation so that I can explore and expand and play more with my friends. So I hope that you enjoyed this information that I have to share with you today. I hope that you try these methods out that I offered to you. And if you have any questions, you want to follow up with me, please feel free to reach out, and whatever your feedback may be, feel free to share it in this group or email me. One of my favorite things to do is to wake up to messages from people saying, you're never going to believe what happened, or you're going to think I'm crazy, or, which I never do. I believe in the whimsical and the magic. I play with dragons. Like, you're not going to shock me or scare me. Yeah, angels, elves, dragons. That's who a lot of my friends are when nobody's watching. So it's nothing strange. And this opportunity is being provided to you by the galactic beings that I work with, the Arcturians, the Palladians, the Lyrans that I work with, Andromedans. There's so many of them and my angelic friends. There's so many of them who have contributed to this beautiful, amazing, wonderful, life-changing material and helping us to establish the new earth. You know, they've been through this before and they're passing off the intel, and I couldn't be more grateful. So once again, thank you for receiving me. Thank you for enjoying hopefully you enjoyed my story telling. And yeah, if you feel called, if you feel led to reach out to me to share a story or to connect for the possibility of us working together, I look forward to hearing from you. And I hope you enjoy the rest of this week, get your shift together. And don't forget to tell the beautiful angel Christine happy birthday. And I love and appreciate you all so much. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.